Hey everybody, Josh Silock here, Physical Digital. No, I haven't done a recording for a while. Happy belated Christmas or holiday seasons to any of you who celebrate this festive season. We've got New Year's, of course, coming up fairly soon. I hope that it is safe and all of you make it home all right. Mind the drinking and driving, of course. But why, besides that stuff, why I'm making this video is that there was a post about Proggy Glenn, who has been with me since the very beginning as a developer and a friend. Glenn has got a heart of gold and he's a really great guy. One of the things about developers in this space is that they don't get a lot of attention or love or seen for a lot of work that they do behind the scenes. And sometimes they're the first ones that people are going to kick if anything goes wrong. And developers are going to make mistakes the same as other developers for some things that may be perceived to be simple things. That might be simple for in certain aspects. And when it has to do with security, especially with wallet security, one of the things that I wanted to bring up here is that if you're sharing a private key and if you're a project and you're sharing a private key with a developer, you should automatically assume that that private key is compromised for you both. And anything that's on there, like when Physical Digital had a shared private key with the developer, Glenn, one of the things that we did was I only moved tokens into that wallet when I knew that the distribution was going to happen very shortly after. It was not something that I was going to be using for long-term storage of project funds for a number of reasons. Of course, one of those is because point number one, I'm going to assume it's already compromised. Point number two is that you want to save the hassle and the risk and any perceived trust issues between you and the developer. Now, I think that what was happening in one of the cases that was brought up was that there was a DApp or app built with maybe the password being stored in an encrypted, rudimentary encrypted fashion. Now, when it comes to Physical Digital, I did this post, maybe some of you didn't see it, but with the project, we don't have any apps or dApps or nothing like that. So it doesn't really affect us to have to worry about a private key being disclosed. Even if they were in one of those shared wallets, there's nothing in there of consequence for anybody to bother to risk. Now, with that aside, I definitely want to thank Glenn Proggy so much. I have known this gentleman for a number of years. He's a family man. He goes out of his way for projects and people. I have heard him where people have reached out to him. He's one of the few developers in the Flare and Songbird ecosystem. Even on the XRP ledger, he had to learn new things. And the people were having issues. I've heard of, there was one case where there was a rogue developer that was nefarious and didn't mind being more self-serving than the giving person like I know that Glenn Proggy is. And they're just kind of took off and it kind of really left the project in a bad spot. And in this particular instance, that project had reached out to Glenn and he kind of dropped everything and helped this project out and the community too by doing so and making it so that people could get access to their staked NFTs. Geez, you know what? Not a lot of love there. I would absolutely be so much more appreciative if all of the people that he helped would come out and stick up for him in this particular instance, all those projects. He's a great guy. I'm sure and confident that if he thought that this was an exploit that could have been that would have been done, there's no way that he would have done so. And we should allow him the benefit of the doubt that it was a simple mistake and that Glenn's going to learn from it. And we want Glenn and his knowledge and his character to be present in this community. And I wouldn't even put it by anybody to say and not recommend Glenn to do work for you and for your project. He's got a really good sense of moral and character. His communication is sometimes challenging because his native language isn't English. He speaks like 7 languages or something insane. But you know what? What you put out is what you get back. If you treat Glenn good, he's going to treat you good. And make sure that you pay the man. Because, geez, developers in this space, if you want development in these different blockchains, sometimes you're going to have to pay for it. Now, work out your rate with the guy and have good communication and pay him on time when you say you're going to pay him. And he's going to be there for you, like any developer or business associate is going to be. You know, Physical Digital wouldn't even be here without the help of Glenn Proggy. And he has been able to help facilitate the FTSO, the STSO. He's helped to facilitate the minting dApps and stuff like that, smart contracts. He helped me even to learn how to use Adobe After Effects, which I couldn't even have made the first collection without him. So sincere thanks to him. And I just wanted to make this short video to let you know that I do appreciate this guy. And we've got to give him an opportunity to correct what was wrong. And it sounds like it was. And now there was one project that did have some funds go missing from this exploit. And now there's a couple of onus that we need to go here. I know we always want to point fingers at somebody else, but I think that a project themselves also has to take some responsibility here. And if you know that if there's a wallet out there or an address, you have to ask, how is it being kept? And realize that if there's, depending on what the method of encryption is, that you're okay with that and that you assume that kind of risk for your project and your community. And when something goes wrong, not to just throw the developer on the bus. Like any relationship, in a business relationship, I think it's important to have some base understanding of how things function, how things are created, so that at least you're able to do your due diligence as a business owner to know that what is happening and how, so that you can know the rest to yourself, your business, and your community. Now, development is something that it has errors. It has errors, there are mistakes, there's learnings, and it is something that is gradual over time, especially with these new blockchains. But there are people like Glenn that care, and there's not a doubt in my mind that he doesn't care. So cut the guy some slack, send him some love for the work that he's done, and I hope that you all can have a great new year. Josh Silock out. I'm going to continue to develop and build some beautiful art. I'm watching as things unfold with legal stuff to do with AI and what technologies are new and available. And there has been just a tremendous amount of development in that whole space. It really is something magical, and I can't wait to show you some of the stuff that I'm working on. I have no idea which blockchain I'm going to launch on yet. I've got hundreds of hours yet to go to develop this thing, and it really does take a lot of work to make these collections. This one's probably going to take me from start to finish 6 months worth of development and work. It really does take a lot of effort. If you want something cheap, If you want a cheap NFT that's just thrown together to try to give you a bunch of false promises, then maybe physical digital isn't the place to look at. But if you want to give energy and your energy to some beautiful art from a guy who's thinking ahead, that wants to create a good project and work with good, caring people and really enjoy making it, be passionate, be around for the long haul, this is where you want to be. Take care. Talk to you soon.